The one thing I tend to stay away from baking or making is bread. I just like to leave it to the professionals. Until I saw this recipe, I was intrigued. Bread is something that I do enjoy. It's a Bon Appetit recipe. I saw this no-knead focaccia and I decided that I should try it, and it was so good. It was probably the best focaccia that I've ever had, and I was so proud that I made it. And so I have been getting a craving lately, but it does take a couple of days. This is the day before. I'm going to make the dough and pop it in the fridge to rise overnight. I'll bring it out tomorrow, give it its other rises, and I'll bake it. It's something to look forward to. What can I say? I will link the recipe down below in the description if you want to check it out. Don't be scared. It's easy, I promise, and it tastes so good. I love bread. But anyway, let's make it. I have some lukewarm water here, about 110 degrees. Into the water goes a packet of active dry yeast and some honey, baby. Yeast loves honey. I give this a little stir around and let this sit for 5-10 minutes. I just want to make sure it's alive. It's gonna start to get a little foamy on top. It's gonna start to smell really good. While our yeast is doing its thing, I'm gonna set this to the side. And I have some all-purpose flour with just some kosher salt in here. Gonna give this a little mix around, get everything all incorporated. It's already starting. Look at how cool this is. Can you see it just starting to bubble up a little bit on its own? It's so cool. This yeast is very active. It's only been a few minutes and we've got some serious action on this yeast, so I know it's alive. Now I'm gonna put this into that. I'm just going to gently mix it in, incorporate it. Don't be afraid to get your hands in there. Get all of that extra flour incorporated. And we're not really kneading it at this time. I just want to get it all together and mixed so there's no kind of extra floury bits. In a separate bowl, a bigger bowl, this is going to be our resting vessel for the night. I'm going to be putting some olive oil in here, and yes, there is a lot of olive oil in this bread, so you want to make sure it's good olive oil that really has a good flavor. But don't worry, it's not bad. It's a good fat. Olive oil is great for you. Now we're gonna stick our dough into the olive oil, work it in there, give it a toss around so it is all covered. Oh yeah. And then we're just gonna stick this baby in the fridge. Nice and tight, and this thing of beauty is gonna go chill in the fridge overnight for me, at least 8 hours. I'm gonna pick it back up in the morning, and then it will go through the rest of the rising times and then the baking. So we're looking at another couple hours probably in the morning, but for now, she is going to sleep. It's now the next morning. It got real big. I want to deflate the dough, but I don't want to, like, you know, punch it. I want to treat this with care. So I'm going to just kind of lift, fold, and turn all the way around. And it's naturally deflating the dough. I have a 9x13 here that I'm just going to prepare with some butter and olive oil. Just gonna take a glob of butter and make sure you get all of those nooks and crannies and the sides. This is just making completely sure that it doesn't stick to the pan, but also the crust that this has is unmatched. That's one of my favorite things about focaccia, is the crust on the bottom where it gets really golden brown. To my buttered pan, I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Also really helps with the flavor and that crust. And this is the olive oil that I'm using. It is so delicious. The smell is unbelievable. It's so fruity and just, I cannot wait to eat this. And then we're just gonna plop the dough in. There you go, my little baby. Get any sort of excess olive oil that's in here, just pour it on in. Now it's time for our second rise, and I'm gonna put this into a warm spot. I like to put it into my oven with the light on. Don't turn the oven on, just the light, or find a warm space in your house. Let it rise for like an hour and a half or so uncovered. You don't want to prohibit the puff. So I'm just gonna put this away for a bit and just wait for magic to happen. You don't have to start spreading it right now. We're just gonna let it relax, kind of get warm again. It's still really cold from the fridge, and rise. While we are waiting for our focaccia to get done its second rise, I'm just gonna get my toppings ready so I can just kind of like be on my merry way with it once it's done. You can put whatever you want on it. Veggies, herbs, meats, cheeses, whatever you want. You can make a cute little design. The focaccia is your pickle. Go for it. I usually like to keep it kind of simple. I'm just gonna put some garlic, shallots, some herbs, some nice flaky sea salts. I do like to put tomatoes, like little cherry tomatoes on there, but I don't have any. I wasn't thinking. So we're gonna do what we have. I've got some garlic here. With this garlic, I like to just leave it in kind of a rough chop. My shallots. I don't want them too thin because they're just gonna burn in the oven. So just make them a little thicker. And I really like rosemary. I like to also have some thyme. Thyme, you can never have enough of it, you know? Look at this baby. She got big, she's relaxed, she's having a good time. I did a couple of test pokes over here. It didn't spring back, so we are all good to go. If it doesn't stay dimpled like that, then it's not ready, and let it kind of rise a little further. We can dimple. Kind of stick your fingers in here, and while you're doing that, you're gonna kind of push the dough around. You want all the good dimples because this is where all of the extra olive oil and the herbs and the garlic are gonna go, and it's just gonna be a real good time. Put your toppings on. Now for that good. I've got some amazing, delicious, flaky sea salt. This is Maldon salt. I'm just going to drop however much I want to on here. In my opinion, the more the better. This isn't like a salty salt. It just gives a really nice flavor and good texture. You guessed it, a little more olive oil. Just to make it in those deep, deep dimples. That is what I'm talking about. Once my oven comes to temperature, I'm just gonna pop this in there for about 20 to 30 minutes until it's puffy and golden brown and delicious. Look at this bread. Oh my God. I am having a moment right now. I mean, look at it. And look at the sides. This is some good focaccia bread. You can hear it. I'm gonna wait just a couple minutes to kind of get a piece of this because I really like to have it hot. I know you're not supposed to, but like, I don't care. Just a little corner. It is so crunchy. Come on. Come to mama. Come on. Ah. Slippery little sucker. Look at that. Look at the bottom. Ooh. Oh my gosh. This is some good bread. It's summer. Look at this hair. Anyway, I'm just going to dig into this focaccia. It's like, you can just peel it apart. Ooh. I love the bottom. Look at that. It's so buttery and olive oily. This is great for sandwiches or just like eating it. Most of this is going away because I cannot have this much bread in the house. Like, I'll wake up at midnight and eat it. So it needs to be a gift. But if you have more self-control than I do, keep it all for yourself. It's delicious and it was so easy. Enjoy.